So we're gonna start this a little bit different today. Got a couple things that I need to say, so run that intro. All right, so sorry this ain't the normal start to my video. Y'all know how I start the video, and this is gonna be one of those exceptions. Y'all know me. Those that have been around a while, we mostly stick to sports, right? And I'm gonna give you a preview in this video, but there are times where I have stated my piece on social issues in the past. This is the only platform I have to do so, so I do so on this platform from time to time, rather in limited quantities. And it is what it is, because this is a football channel, and I try to keep things football, and I try to stay out of politics, and I try to stay out of this and that, because once again, this is a football channel, right? And I do plan on having a platform to speak on other issues on very soon, very, very soon. I have delayed for personal reasons, really, because I know some things are a little bit divisive, but it's something that I have to do, so it will get done, where I will have a platform talking solely about social issues and things like that. So look forward to that if you are into that type of thing. But since this is all I have for now, I have to say something, so give me a few minutes, all right? Charlie Kirk, as most of y'all probably have seen or heard by now, passed away a couple days ago, and I want to give condolences first and foremost to his wife, his two little kids, to his family, and everybody that knew and loved him and supported him. Condolences to all these people. All right, I want to make sure I get that out the way first. I've never met him, obviously, in person, but I knew who Charlie Kirk was. I was a fan, not necessarily a supporter, because I didn't watch all of his content or anything like that, but I was a fan of his. He and I, being that he was a Christian, believe what you want, right? Because I know some people probably don't believe he was, but I'm going based off of what he said and how he carried himself in conversation about Christ. So that's what I'm going off of. He was a believer in Christ, and I am as well. And we shared some of the same viewpoints. Not everything he said I agreed with, but there were a lot of things that he said that I genuinely agree with as a conservative Christian. All right. And that's what I am. I'm not a Republican, not a Democrat, but I am a conservative Christian. And those are the viewpoints that he shares. A lot of them I do agree with. So with that being said, right, I wanted to talk to my fellow Christians and remind my fellow Christians of something. Because what we've been seeing over the past couple days since his death, tragic death, assassination, maybe not assassination, but he was murdered. And I say maybe not assassination because they usually use those terms for actual political figures, meaning, people in Congress or people working for the state, things like that, like presidents, things like that. So maybe you don't want to call it that, but he was murdered. Okay. Point blank, period. For, by the way, having a voice that many didn't agree with. So because they didn't agree with him, they decided to do something about it and take him out of this earth, right? And this has led to backlash of the sympathy towards Kirk, and where people are saying, oh, well, why should I have empathy? Why should I have sympathy for him because he believed this? And others saying, you know what? I'm glad he's gone. I would have did it myself if I could have, blah, 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 so on and so forth, right? And, freedom of speech. You have the right to feel how you want to feel, right? Big believer in freedom of speech. And I understand that some people don't like him. And you have the right not to like him if that's how you feel, right? And I understand the world, right? Worldly people, carnal people, right? It's who I'm talking about. I understand them saying they are happy he's dead. But if there are any Christians out there, if you have joined in on any of that, you need to check your heart, okay? Deeply look inside yourself, all right? Because I'm going to remind you of this one thing, all right? In the Bible, okay, we go to the New Testament, Jesus is doing teachings. And in part of his teachings, all right, he says to love your enemy, pray for your enemy, and make sure, right, that you do not seek revenge on your enemy, all right? That's what the Bible says. Pray for your enemies. Pray for your enemies. All right? Love your enemies. If you see Charlie Kirk has an enemy, you ought to love him. You ought to love him. That is our job as Christians. I'm not putting that standard on the USA. All right? I'm putting that standard on Christians because we are the ones that set the standard for the US. All right. We are here to set the standard. And that's what we do. We are not of the world. We are set apart. All right. So we don't do as they do. We set the standard for what it should be. So even if you disagreed with everything he stood for, you thought he was a racist, a bigot, doesn't matter. When he passes, you show him the respect that God would want you to show him, and you show him compassion and you show him love, because even if he was your enemy, that's what God told us to do. That's what Jesus taught and preached, okay? That we love our enemies. So even if you saw him as that, and I don't, even if you saw him as that, you still ought to love him. That is your mandate. And if you are Christ-like, that is how you're supposed to live. Plain and simple. All right. So knock it off. Get out of your feelings. Whether you agreed with what he was saying or not does not matter when he dies. That doesn't matter. All right. And then I know I'm going to get on. All right. I'm moving on because some of you that aren't Christian could care less about what I'm saying. All right. And some of you that aren't Christian care deeply about what I'm saying, because even if you're not Christian, you're like, yes, I agree with you because you're a decent human being, right? And that's what it's all about at the end of the day as well. Last thing I'm going to say is y'all got to learn, all right, the people that have a problem with Charlie Kirk and because of that will not show him compassion, okay, and empathy in his family. Y'all got to learn the difference between hate speech and constructive speech. Okay, you've got to learn the difference between the two. There is a difference between hate speech and constructive speech. All right, and he was into constructive speech. All right, he was going to challenge your mind. All right, on issues that are taking place in America, that we all know are taking place in America. He was going to challenge your mind because he was there to debate you. All right. So if he's going to say something that sounds outlandish to you, that doesn't mean that it's hate speech. It just means that he's challenging your mind. All right. If people don't have the same viewpoint as you, they are challenging your mind. And it's either on you to say, oh, well, you know what? I've opened my mind to that and I can see that and I can be swayed. Or it's up to you to say, you're tripping. I believe what I believe. You can't sway me. And we let bygones be bygones. That's it. That's where it should stop. It shouldn't bring you to hate somebody because they don't agree with what you agree with. Where have we gone in this society to where we hate people because they disagree or because they don't agree with the same things we agree with, or they agree with what we agree, they disagree with what we agree with, right? Where have we gone as a nation where we'll kill somebody? We'll take them out. I'm not going to monetize this video. All right. So don't worry about it. Well, we'll take somebody out and rejoice that they're gone because we don't agree with them, or we feel like they're racist or bigot or homophobic or transphobic, whatever it is. Where have we gone? Where we'll rejoice that somebody took somebody out. All right. And I'm talking about Christians. OK, because I heard this when when President Trump got shot in the ear, that one, he did it himself. Right. He's the one that orchestrated the whole thing. That was one of the rumors going around. And then two, that they're happy. And oh, man, they wish that it would have hit its mark for real and he would have been gone. Christians saying these type of things. All right. I know what I've heard. All right. So I could also surmise that maybe there are Christians out there. I haven't heard it, and I don't know who is a Christian or not on these social media streets that are saying some of these heinous things. But I could surmise if they said that about Trump, that they're definitely saying it about Charlie Kirk, who was also a staunch Trump supporter. Okay. These things, they've got to stop from our community, from the Christian community, from the believer community, right? These things have to stop. We set the standard, not the world, not the people that are outside of our faith. We set the standard of what the moral should be, what our values should look like, and how we respond in these moments. We said it. It's on us. All right. Because that's what we were called to do. OK, so please get back in your word. All right. And allow it to penetrate you and operate in love. Even if you disagree with somebody, that's fine. Operate in love, because at the end of the day, for all those saying that I don't have nothing similar with this person, yes, you do. They bleed red just like you do. They need oxygen just like you do. They have all the same senses that you have as well. All right. And I'm not talking about the people that are senses deficient, where, blind, deaf. But I'm talking about in general. Right. We have the same senses. OK, and we all have an appointed time where we're no longer going to be here. There are similarities. All right. And there are plenty of them, if you would look past your hate. All right. So now, with that being done, let's get into this video. All right. And I went a little longer than I wanted to on that, but I have to talk about these things because it's very important that I let these Christians know, because the Christians, we have to be held accountable too. All right. And we have to be the ones to hold each other accountable. All right. And it's our job to do that, because when Cain, okay, and I'm going to say this last thing, when Cain was approached by God and God asked him, where's your brother Abel? What did he say? I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? All right. Taking a shot. Like, why are you asking me for? All right. It's on us to make sure that we keep our brothers and sisters in line. It's on us to do that. And that I'm part of that. All right. That's why I'm on this screen right now getting at y'all. We got to step up. We got to step up. We can't be a part of that. And when we see it, like I did, we got to say something. No, this ain't right. It ain't right. We're not going to sit here and rejoice when a son and daughter and a wife no longer have the person they were relying on. Okay? We're not doing that. All right? We're not doing that. Not our community. Let the others do it, because they are without Christ. Because if we do it, then we're saying that this is what Christ is about. And we know that's not true. All right.